Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 106 of those Muckrakers. I'm Pete.
And I'm Pat.
And how long have we been in lockdown quarantine?
Let me think. It's been
It's been about
5
a month.
weeks.
It's been about it's been a little over a month, right?
Yeah. And what's insane is that school would be just about to get out anyway right now. We're like a week or two away from finals at the college I'm next to.
So if you just came out of a
this
coma,
town would be about to be evacuated anyway at this point. So,
Yeah.
like, really, I'm not going to notice too much difference between a week from now, one way or the other.
if you've been in a coma like the guy from The Walking Dead, everything has pretty much been. Well, I say everything. Walmart's still open, but they closed down all the schools and everything because of the coronavirus.
Walmart is so different these days. You would notice a difference because, like, the Walmart that I live next to, for one thing, they close at 9 p.m., and that's unheard of. During hurricane weather, that thing stays open 24/7. But, like, right now, it's only open 10 to 9, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Unless you're a senior citizen, then you can get in at 8. But besides that, it's there's also like fenced off areas. You sort of get funneled down certain aisles. They have like directions drawn on the floor trying to say go this way, go that way to sort of control the flow of traffic so two people don't meet each other going down aisles. Now, nobody follows this.
Yeah. Well, my
but
favorite thing about Walmart is you see two kinds of people. The people that are like social distancing and they're ready for the apocalypse, like they're masked up, right?
yes.
And then there's the other kind of
Then
person, which
then there's this asshole.
yeah, who's they're walking around with 5 kids licking doorknobs. There's no middle ground. It's either like you're ready or you're like, let's bring out, like I saw a woman with a baby the other day. Why would you take a baby out in a pandemic?
Because maybe she doesn't want that baby. Maybe
guess-
she's like, shit, I forgot to get an abortion. I knew I had an appointment for last week. Oh, what could I do? Oh, I have an idea. Let's bring it to the Walmart.
So my favorite thing so far, talking about school closures and stuff, do you remember Dr. Oz, the fake doctor that actually got sued and went to court over selling supplements that were hurting people and like he was featured on Oprah?
I do.
So Dr. Oz, fake doctor, was quoted as saying that, if we open up schools, there's only a 2 to 3% mortality rate. So, so that's a real attractive idea. Is maybe we go ahead and reopen school. And a guy I work with did the numbers on like the New York City school system and was like, oh yeah, that's like 30,000 kids dead.
That's here's the thing. If 2% of the children die and your kid is one of the 2%, that's 100% of your kid dead right there.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like they'll come home missing a finger. Like they miss everything at that point.
It's just weird that rich people with no stake in the game are like, I think it's okay to, and then you fucking go, you fucking asshole.
Speaking of fake doctors that are friends with Oprah, Dr. Phil's trying to say that it's fine because cars kill a bunch of people every year.
Dr. Phil's not even a doctor. He's an unlicensed psychiatrist.
I know, Phil's bad, man. But like,
Yeah, so fake.
okay, so here's the
fake-
thing about car deaths is that 45,000 a year is after we're doing everything in our power to try and make cars safer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we're not just letting people go out there and murder each other with vehicles willy-nilly and say, well, people still die, so screw it, anything goes. There's no more there's no more speed limits, there's no more directions, traffic lights, nothing. Just pedal to the metal, close your eyes, and scream, whee!
Cops pull you over and cut your seatbelt, and they're like, "This is for your own freedom."
Exactly.
Yeah, people are getting real stupid. So on top of all this, right now we have people protesting the closure of businesses for the virus. It's insane.
With Trump's administration calling them modern-day Rosa Parks.
Right. Well, my favorite thing about it was they brought guns to a protest over a pandemic.
Yeah, like, what are they going to do? Shoot the typhus? Like,
That's what I was going to bring up. So one time when we were younger and we were living together, me and Pat, there was and I was actually really sick. There was an episode of Little House on the Prairie where they all got typhus. And they told Michael Landon, they're like, they got typhus. So he immediately goes and grabs his gun, and we were like, what is
the typhus is down. They got it down at the river. And he quickly grabbed his shotgun and ran out the door.
Like, what's he gonna do with that? Well, I guess things don't change. But yeah, so it's what do you call it? It's
shoot the
dress up,
typhus?
man. It's Skyrim for fake patriots.
Yep. The
They're
Skyrim
demanding we
mod
reopen
where a monster truck instead of a dragon's flying through the sky. Just rolling coal all throughout Skyrim.
They're demanding that we reopen the economy and everything like that. Like all the businesses, because they say we're adults, we can be responsible.
Oh
yeah,
my God. No, you can't. Like, first of all, no, you can't. Fuck you.
Well, you showed up in a large group during a pandemic. That's being responsible.
The proof of the pudding is in the tasting, and their pudding tastes like typhus. Like, this is... they're already showing that they can't be responsible because none of them are wearing masks. Okay, I think a couple of them were, but most of them weren't wearing masks. One lady was complaining about not being able to get a haircut. It's like you want to potentially kill your hairdresser if you are asymptomatic and you have the coronavirus and you go there, you get your hair cut, then your hairdresser dies, and now who's going to cut your hair?
They're protesting and like blocking hospitals and stuff.
Yeah, they just block roads, and because they believe the right-wing media whenever they say that the whole thing's just a left conspiracy to make Trump look bad. That's the problem with Fox News talking to people who aren't that bright, or people who are maybe bright, but they're kind of fucking gullible, is that... Or, okay, I'll even be kind and say they're... whatever. Screw it. I'm not defending these people anymore. These people who aren't that bright listen to Fox News and they believe what Fox News is telling them, and then they act upon it. And whenever Obama was president and how they acted upon it was by complaining about Obama, okay, no harm done because Obama's still making sure that the country's being run right. Now that Trump's in charge and what he's telling them to do is to just like file out into the street and hashtag reopen Michigan, liberate Michigan or whatever it is, that's them killing themselves. Whenever Trump's telling them to use this, what was it called? The cure for something, not polio, malaria. This malaria treatment, Trump's telling people to go and use that. What have you got to lose, folks? What have you got to lose? Well, what they have to lose is they're buying it all. So people that actually have I think it's also a treatment for lupus. Those people can't get their pills anymore because all the Trump supporters have bought all the pills. So now people with lupus are going to run out of medicine because there's nothing for them. And the people that are the Trump supporters that are taking it are killing themselves because this isn't meant for them to just take willy-nilly. You can't just take unprescribed medicine.
So here's the cool thing. Apparently, I've been seeing that during the Spanish flu epidemic, it was the second wave that hit really hard and really killed even more people. So what's going to happen is the economy's in a death spiral. We're going to go into a depression. And then they're going to relax all the social distancing stuff, right? Right. And then the disease is going to come back and kill even more people. So protest, like Florida's already reopening beaches and stuff, and I'm like...
Yeah, they did. Why? That just happened a couple days ago. It's like, you fucking idiots. What are you doing? You're going to get everyone killed. Okay, it's Florida, so that's a bit more understandable, but Jesus Christ. I mean, we're looking at Darwinism in action, except all these people that are dumb enough to go to the beach or protest in Michigan or do whatever like that, they're going to be playing a game of sharks and minnows where they all become the sharks and then they go out and turn all the other minnows into sharks, except instead of sharks, it's people infected with corona and then they all just die. And so everyone they run into in their daily life just die, even people that are trying to be responsible.
So that's how the pandemic's going. You know, in all the pandemic movies and everything, I've never, I would have said I would never would have seen the twist where like the pandemic gets worse because people are protesting pandemic measures. That's something you never see in like zombie movies where people are like, the zombies aren't real. Reopen the hospital, like.
Folks, they're Chinese zombies. You just got to relax.
All dead inside is a hoax. Unbar that door.
Open that door. It's a freedom door. We got to open it.
Yeah. I love people that are equating this to like their liberties are being trampled. I'm like, oh, God. Oh, well. Fucking, what are you going to do, man?
Yep. So since the last time we podcasted, America became number one, not only in coronavirus cases, surpassing China, but also deaths, surpassing Italy. So America number one?
USA, USA, USA.
It's because of our fucking retarded leadership. Like, I know
because,
that's a word that you shouldn't say anymore,
Pat,
but that's the best word to describe Trump.
It's because the virus hates our freedoms.
It must be. It must be.
Fucking assholes.
And this whole time, the only thing Trump can be concerned with is making sure that he gets credit for all this, and also undermining our election because, the stimulus checks that were going to go out, Trump delayed all the physical checks so that he could have his name printed on like a memo to go along with them so that people would relate getting this money to Trump because he wants to make sure that they all think that this money, which is their money, by the way, because it's taxpayer money, comes from him. That way they'll think, Trump gave me money. Oh, I'm going to vote for him. So he's once again trying to undermine our election by doing that
I like
shit. And
somebody
in a
that
normal world, that would be a bigger deal than it is. But right
I
now,
like
all it
that
means is people that desperately needs money is getting it slower.
somebody goes, "He's not giving us money, you asshole. That's our money."
Right, smart people know that, but the people that vote for him aren't the smart ones that are going to know what's going on, and they're the ones that I'm worried about him, influencing, undermining. It's because God, his opponent is now officially Joe Biden,
God.
so we've got our money
Yeah.
cut out for us. Look, Joe's not a perfect person, but you can't compare him to Trump. Again, that's like comparing like a drunk
heard a
guy
lot
at a
of-
party.
I've heard a lot of arguments about which rapist am I going to vote for, and I'm like, the one that's raped fewer people, I guess, just on a real hard choice thing there.
Well, they're trying to, first of all, they're trying to distract from the fact that Trump is still the impeached criminal who used Russia to undermine our election. The whole Mueller report
Yeah.
did show that he committed obstruction of justice 11 times. He has real proven crimes against him, whereas Joe Biden, for all of his faults, it's still just, speculation. There's been no investigations into this, nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, the world is in a weird place.
And meanwhile, Trump has 11, or not 11 accusers, like 20-something accusers, and he's admitted it on tape. So, but putting their sexual weirdness behind us, or to the side, Trump is still murdering hundreds of thousands of Americans with his shit mistreatment of the coronavirus. And he's also been murdering children in his baby cages. And he's also been, like, nearly starting World War III by just bombing random assholes overseas, and just basically, and he's been dismantling the EPA. He's been dismantling everything that could possibly keep this planet alive. He pulled us out of the Paris Accord, which means we're all going to die from global warming soon.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
I can't begin to stress strongly enough how bad of person Trump is. He is a fucking monster that only cares about himself. You can't compare him to Joe Biden and be like, well, Joe Biden sniffed this one girl's hair. Isn't that fucking weird? Well, maybe, but it's not a crime, so he'll at least run the government right.
He did finger a lady against her will at one point, so that's kind of a rape.
Did he admit to this? Has there been an investigation? Is that a thing that's been shown to happen?
There's evidence that like they kept trying to cover it up because she reported it a long time ago.
Well, I mean, I haven't heard anything about this. I'll have to look into it. Until there's been an investigation, I'm just going to let that tea kettle rest on the back burner.
Well, you know what might make you feel better? A Dear Wesley.
I mean, I have like pages and pages of notes from the last time we worked on all this. God, this is all so depressing. You know what? Let's just put this document aside. I need something to cheer me up. What's the first Dear Wesley?
Dear Wesley, I met a young couple about a year ago. They invite me out for lunch every few months. They have several children they allow to run all over the place, climb over and under the table, cry and whine. They make no effort to teach them proper behavior in restaurants. It's so annoying and embarrassing, I no longer want to go out with them. I cannot believe that they turn their children loose in a restaurant without acknowledging they are creating a not nice experience for others. If they ask me why, should I make up an excuse or tell them how I feel about their kids? I suspect they will be hypersensitive, but I can't enjoy my meal with their children running wild. I'd rather eat by myself than experience another episode.
I think this person already knows what to do. Just be like, yeah, no, your kids are out of control. I can't eat with that going on, so I'm just gonna eat alone. Or ask them to control their kids, but that's probably not gonna happen. So just go back to not eating with that couple. They're not gonna just suddenly rein in their kids because you ask them to.
Yeah, I don't go out for meals with people I don't like.
Yeah, that's. I think that's that's what you got to do here. Find other people to go out and eat with.
Pretty stock and standard. What would Wesley do?
Wesley would eat the kids? I don't know. Let me think. You know what? I bet I know. No, I know what the answer to this is. Wesley would be running around like crazy, like the kids, and they would all just be. He'd be playing with them like Vash the Stampede, just like rolling over tables, knocking into other patrons, and get like all of them thrown out of the restaurant. And Wesley would be like, "But I was playing with a dinner roll. I was making it talk to the mashed potatoes."
What's the problem?
Yep, that's what Wesley would do.
Nice. Well, we got another Dear Wesley too. Hang on, it is computer slow. Dear Wesley, Am I an asshole for permanently leaving my dad's house after my mother made me give up my room for an adopted child that I do not know, and then making me share a room with the adopted child I don't know, and that adopted child breaks my stuff and bullies me?
I was picturing this as being like an older person, but I guess did they adopt an older kid?
Well, dear Wesley, I'm a 16-year-old male boy, and I have a mother. Anyway,
Okay.
my mother's one of those parents who is great in the community. Anyway, a few days ago, my mother adopted a 15-year-old girl and a 10-year-old boy who are Billings. I don't know what that means. She made me give up my room. I stayed for 14 years to the girl and made me share a smaller room with a 10-year-old boy. Already, I'm going to stop you right there. If you're 16 and you're being bullied by a 10-year-old,
Yeah, that was what I was concerned with. That he was being bullied by like a young kid.
anyway, the 15-year-old girl constantly makes fun of me, and the 10-year-old boy breaks my things, and I don't give him permission to touch my property. I told my mom either give me back my room or make the 10-year-old and 15-year-old kids share or make a brand new room for one of them. Am I living permanently the rest of my life at my dad's? Or I'm going to go live at my dad's house for the rest of my life permanently. I also told my mom if she wants me to visit her, she's going to have to actually parent these adopted kids. Otherwise, she's going to be stuck with problem children. My mother yelled at me for not considering them as family and telling me that the reason they are problem children is because they had a tough life and I'm not accepting them as family. Mother also told me that I am the
Mm-hmm.
problem child because I have no empathy for these kids. She said the 15-year-old girl needs more privacy than boys, and I can just man up. Mother told me that I can just man up and live here. I told her I'm heading to my dad's, and I'm not going to have a relationship with her anymore. And she can love her adopted children. I told her I need my own room as much as the 15-year-old girl. Then my mother yelled at me and told me to get lost. I'm at my dad's house now. My dad is very furious at my mom. I might have been mean about the adopted kids, and I might have been rude to my mom, but those kids break my things and bully me, so I don't want to live with them. Am I an asshole, Wesley?
No, see, the mom adopted the kids. He didn't. So they've really got to try and meet him halfway. The mom needs to have more empathy for her son, her biological kid, to understand that this is a big change for him, and maybe telling him that he's the problem is the wrong way to have approached it.
You
And
can't just throw
also,
new
she needs.
teenagers together in a house.
Yeah,
That doesn't work.
yeah, like they're all strangers at that point. Actually, this reminds me of a story that I heard on Penn Sunday School once, which was hilarious. That this mom adopted like a teenage girl to live with her teenage son, and I don't remember if they had to share a room or what. I think they were both like 15 or 16, and because they weren't like biologically related, as soon as they were like together in the house, they just started fucking nonstop. So that worked out really well for them, but I guess this isn't working out quite as well for this guy.
Well, how do you think the mom would feel if suddenly she had to share her room with like another woman that she didn't know?
Oh, that's it. How about that's it? That's the Wesley solution to this problem. This is exactly
You
what
need to
needs to
do is
happen.
adopt another parent and
Yeah.
make your mom live with somebody that's 10 years her senior or her
Yep.
junior.
Just adopt another mother, and she can live in your mother's room, and they can hang out together. But you also got to adopt another father, and he gets his own room because boys need more space.
I honestly think that sometimes we don't treat children like people and we don't look at like what if the reverse was true? You know what I mean? Like imagine you're just living in your house and someone goes, "Hey, guess what? Two new people live here and one of them lives in your room, asshole." And you're like, "What? Why? I don't like that at
Yeah,
all."
yeah.
Um,
That's mhm. Okay.
when one of our friends told us a story once about a teacher who got him in trouble, and this was in like grade school or something. And he was like, if you do this, I'm gonna get in trouble, and I'm gonna go home, and they're gonna beat me. And the teacher went ahead with it anyway. So he went home, got beaten, and then like wasn't given any supper and all this. So he comes back the next day, and the teacher's like, "So," and he's like, "I told you, I got the shit beat out of me and didn't get any supper." And the teacher just goes, "Well, serves you right." And so I was like,
Fuck.
you know what? If we went to this lady's house and beat her and then starved her for a night, we'd go to jail for a felony.
Yeah,
Why is it okay to do to kids?
because too many people see kids as like accessories in the house rather than actual people.
Yeah, doesn't why is it okay to just be like, "Hey kid, there's a new guy living in your room now. Enjoy."
I don't know. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Wesley. You got to get another mom and move her into her room.
uh, so
Fucking assholes.
uh, is there any
Yeah.
other stories besides the coronavirus going on right now?
No, I mean that's kind of the big one. And like I said, it's things are gonna get worse because
Do you think?
it's gonna make a comeback when once we think that like we're good. Around, I'm gonna go ahead and guess around maybe February, January, February when it starts to get cold again.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna make a comeback, and people are gonna stop social distancing, and so it's gonna be even
Do you
worse the
think?
second round.
Do you think that schools will be back in? I know that in like New York, this entire year, all the schools are like shut down.
Yeah,
Do you think in
I
the
think
rest
they'll
of
try.
America, schools will start to reopen in the
I think
fall?
they'll try to bring them around. I think they'll try to reopen them in September, but I think that by February we're gonna get
So,
hit again.
you mean August?
Well, for us, it starts in September, but for you,
Oh
it
yeah.
starts in August. But point being, I think they're going to try to reopen schools next year, and I think by February, it's going to be really bad.
Okay.
Yeah. In other news, what's really fun is so they're really pushing vote by mail, with the election going on, and Trump's trying to kill the post office because if there's no post office, people can't vote by mail.
Yeah, because even Trump is aware that when more people vote, Republicans lose. Like, voter suppression is the number one way to make sure Republicans win. And it almost doesn't even seem to matter whose vote they suppress as long as they just push everything down. If there's very
Now,
few voters, then
I
Republicans stand a better chance of winning.
I haven't been happy with the post office for a long time, but I did read this interesting thread on it. And here's the thing about the post office, and this goes with my base ideology. I don't believe that certain industries that are a part of the public good should be privatized. The whole thing about the post office was they were talking about it costs you the same amount of money whether you want to send a letter down the street or to Whistle Dick, Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Not the same if you privatize it. And they say that a lot of times these companies, these UPS and whatnot, dump mail onto the post office because they won't make any money if they bring it to these certain areas, right? So if you privatize it, there are certain routes that are going to be cut out. People are going to be. It's basically you ruin the equality of the post office, which means that people can receive their news and mail equally. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. It doesn't matter if you're a piece of shit. You got an address, you get your mail same way as everybody else, right?
Right.
And privatizing that would fuck that all up. Also, apparently the post office is in the Constitution, so they can't just shut it down.
Good.
But
Yeah, the Republicans, the party of the Constitution, usually they hate every single amendment except for the second one. Like all the others, they're willing to throw out. I think they only
yeah,
say the Constitution because they
well,
want to make sure that people can have as many guns as possible, so as much death and carnage, senseless violence happens as possible. Basically,
what's
Republicans are the party of kill everyone as possible, kill as many people as possible, but
well,
make
what's
sure that the rich keep being rich.
well, what's fascinating is they are he wants to do like with everything else. He wants to privatize everything because he wants to give the post office to his rich buddies because apparently the post office not just their infrastructure but like a lot of the stuff they have is worth billions to these companies, right?
Yeah.
Like the routes, the mailing lists, all that stuff is worth billions of money. So these companies desperately want to like basically cut the post office up like a fucking yak carcass.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's all he's done the entire time he's been in office is just like put rich people in charge of everything, put Wall Street bankers in charge of the economy, put people that profit from destroying the EPA in charge of the EPA. That's it. This whole presidential camp or presidency has just been about profiteering off it, and that's why the whole government's run on a skeleton crew. And people that have been appointed are usually the worst possible people for whatever office they've been put into.
Well,
Like Betsy DeVos profiteers majorly from her privatizing of schools, and she's in charge of education in America.
are you ready for the next appointment that he's made?
God.
He put some people, I guess, on a council of like how to fix the economy.
Oh
And
yeah, I heard of
my
this.
favorite one is, you ready for this? Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, like the head of
What?
the Yeah, Vince
Wait, no,
McMahon.
what? I have
Yeah,
not heard of this.
you didn't know that Vince McMahon is going to be part of
He's
helping reopen the
legitimately in
economy.
charge. Like he accepted the job.
I think so. I don't see why he wouldn't. He's a psychotic billionaire.
Is it weird that I actually trust Vince McMahon? I trust him compared to like some of these assholes.
You shouldn't, because if you watch that John Oliver and how wrestlers get treated,
Yeah, yeah, I know. He's
yeah.
fucking killing his own wrestlers right now to make sure that wrestling can continue. Like he's putting them all
Well,
in danger. He doesn't give a fuck about human
also,
life.
you got to remember too, he's also a failed businessman. The only thing he's ever done that succeeded is wrestling. Every other business venture he's tried has failed miserably.
But that's still one more success than Trump's had.
He tried the XFL twice. It failed both
Yeah.
times.
And I know what you're thinking. Well, Trump did succeed at the whole presidency thing, right? No, Vladimir Putin succeeded at the presidency. Trump
The
just
only
happened to
thing,
be the puppet that
the
got
only thing
appointed.
that I support Vince McMahon being in government is maybe he'll hit the president with a steel chair. Also,
He
can
literally
we
has before. Like there was a wrestling match between those two.
can we get JR on C-SPAN?
Maybe.
I would just, oh my God, oh my, the Texas rattlesnake.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're
who's
living in a weird fucking dystopia. It's insane. Vince McMahon is now in charge of the economy.
Yeah, it's idiocracy. Remember the wrestlers in charge of the America.
God, that movie. I can't believe that a movie actually fucking became.
Reality. Shut
Yeah.
up. Shut up. You're talking all faggoty. Shut
There's a
up.
there's a really great Patton Oswalt tweet about how Anne Frank and like those people like hid in a closet for what was it, like a year?
Yeah.
It's a long time. And we're under quarantine for like a month, and already people are protesting like reopen Fuddruckers.
The I've been seeing an increased amount of street traffic lately. Like 3 weeks into the quarantine, and people already just start to pile out again. Before
Yeah.
that, the streets were largely empty, except for the
It's
grocery stores. The grocery stores were packed as fuck. Like I've never seen them so busy
it's
at
summer,
all
man.
hours.
It's summer. People are gonna start going out and doing summer stuff. I saw a
Speaking of
guy
summer
cutting.
stuff, have you seen gas prices right now?
Yeah, the oil is continuing to tank because what we forgot to report is the Saudis and the Russians are still in an oil war right now.
Yeah. And it's like $1 a gallon. It's insane. I've never seen price this cheap since I was like a little kid. Like,
Which shows you that every time it goes up, that it's an artificial. What they're doing is the Russians and the Saudis or the OPEC or whoever, they're increasing production to drive prices down in kind of a chicken match, you know?
yeah, well, this is also like because of the quarantine, not as many people are driving, so the demand
That-
goes down, so the price
that
goes
too.
down.
Yeah. So the demand has gone down while the supply has gone up, so it's tanking oil prices.
Yep. So like that's so right before the last major economic crash, the gas also did something funky, which was it spiked to like $6 a gallon in 2007, right before the major crash of 2008. And so right now it's sinking. It's going so low that I feel like this is what's going to happen right before the next big crash, which we're already kind of a part of because unemployment is spiking. Like millions of people are losing their jobs every single week, and it's just going to keep getting worse for a while. And of
Yeah.
course, the Dow sunk by 10,000 points. So 1/3 of the economy just vaporized. And it
all I can
stabilized
say
around
is-
20,000. But
All I can say is he's gonna run the economy and get business. Well, fucking he did. He ran it just like one of his businesses into the fucking ground.
womp womp.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even care anymore. All I know is I've buried myself in Skyrim, and like, I'm just, and especially after you told me on this one quest I'm on, I'm like, I can become a vampire. Oh, I'm never coming back to reality.
Yeah. You'll want to cure your vampirism so you can become a werewolf later and like do that whole storyline, but then you can like cure your lycanism and become a vampire again.
Do I get any powers from being a vampire?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna
I
Google all
think
this
so.
later.
Yeah, you'll want to look it up. I think that it increases your stealth at night or something like that.
Guys, if you're not already doing it, and I know this is old news, because when in our group text I sent a thing, goes, guys, you got to play Skyrim, it's great. And one of my friends goes, did you send this like 8 years ago, and it's just now arriving?
Yeah.
Anyway, all I can tell you is go get Skyrim and just immerse yourself in it. It's fantastic.
Now on the other end, I've been playing Animal Crossing, which has been just so
Yeah, that's-
fantastic.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, so like it was already going to be a big seller, but it came out as soon as everyone had to stay inside, and suddenly here's this game about just owning your own private island, your own paradise island out in the middle of the ocean, and the whole point of the game is here's just a place for you to live now. So it's like, yeah, okay, that works for me, and so I've just been dicking around on my island for the past 4 weeks.
Nice, just like Warren Buffett.
Yeah, basically, just out
He
on
plays-
his boat.
He plays Animal Crossing for real.
Yep.
Well, that's all I got. What do you got? Anything else?
The newspaper I work at just stopped printing papers this week, so yeah.
Oh, they finally shut down.
Yep. For the time being.
So I know you're sad, but you also got to be happy that job is gone. It gave you so much anxiety.
Yep. Like it had been scaling back, and now it just went kaput. So for the time
Nice.
being, wee. Like,
Yay! My job is offline indefinitely. I'm just waiting until the paychecks stop coming.
oh no. Wait, you're not still doing online classes?
I mean, yeah, I'm doing online classes, but I mean, that's not it's work, but it's
It's not
I'm just
really.
waiting until the fucking until they go. We gotta furlough these teachers.
Oh no. Yeah, where you have to keep that's where you have to keep working, but now you don't get paid for it, right?
I don't know what that means, but if I'm not getting paid, I'm not doing any work.
Actually, no. I'm wrong. That's whenever you have a day off and you don't get paid for it because teachers are paid on salary and not by the clocking in
Yeah,
per hour. So it's just like
exactly.
these days disappear now. That's right. I forgot what furlough meant for a
Well,
second.
it's because if you paid teachers hourly, they'd be rich.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
racking up so much fucking overtime. Anyway, that's all the news I got. I'm desperate to get back to some Skyrim because I got some vampires that need to taste my dwarvish hammer.
And man, what am I doing now? Actually, I'm about to hop into Warcraft, I think, because a lot of old people that used to play the game's been coming back to that. So I
When you
was,
say that, I feel like you mean actual old people where they're like, "Hello, it's your grandmother, Wilder.
oh Lord.
Look at me, I'm an elf."
By the time this pandemic's over, like all my friends will be old. Say, I remember when I was young and I could go outside.
You're
Now
funny.
I'm old.
You think we're all gonna make it to old age?
Yeah, that's not going to happen anymore. Like we have the dumbest people on earth running everything into the ground. We have famine. We have war. We have pestilence. What horsemen of the apocalypse are we missing at this point?
You have oh god, the four horsemen, right? So you have famine. Oh,
Mhm.
you have famine, pestilence, war, and death.
So I think famine, even though that's the first one I named, I'm pretty sure that's the only one we don't have right now.
Famine? Yeah, yeah, you do. You have it in other places.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Oh,
life's
I
a
meant to
horror,
report
spin
this.
of the apocalypse, and then
I
you
totally
die.
forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I wish I had saved this news article. I don't know if you remember a while back, did we talk about the forests in Chernobyl?
Yes. Yeah.
So to give you a repeat of that, basically all the woods around Chernobyl um, are still there, but the radiation has killed any bacteria. So these trees are dead, and they're just like it's like a petrified forest, but they're just drying out, right? But they're
Oh my god,
super
I never thought about that. Holy shit. Can I like give the listeners a fun fact right quick?
yeah.
So this planet has gone through like 5 or 6 different end of the worlds, including like the big asteroid hitting it and wiping out 99% of life. Another thing that nearly destroyed the world, another apocalyptic event, was back when trees first existed. Like this planet didn't start with trees, and whenever it did have trees, there was no bacteria that on Earth that could digest trees. So every tree on Earth would just die and fall over and just sit there, and the trees would pile up and pile up and pile up, and we had like a thick layer of trees on top of the planet all the way up until one of them just caught fire, and it was just a massive blaze, and literally the entire planet caught fire because of these trees that just completely covered the surface of it, and all these and it burned up so much of the dead trees that that's where we get all of our coal today, from those original undigestible trees. Way later on, millions of years later, bacteria did start to exist that could digest a tree. So when trees died, they could rot and fall apart, and we wouldn't have like mass worldwide blazes. But yeah, that's just a fun fact about how one evolutionary thing existed before the other. So now, Pete, you're saying that these trees in Chernobyl, the bacteria that can digest them ain't there anymore, so they're just dying and falling over.
Oh, they're not even falling over. They're just sitting there. But either way, they're just drying out, right? But
Yeah.
here's the fun thing about them: they're super radioactive.
Uh huh.
So when they all do catch fire, it creates a toxic cloud of radioactive smoke that then will go over the rest of Europe,
Oh
and the
no.
forest is on fire.
Oh no.
And they kept. So what's funny is they didn't bring any of that up. When I was reading the thing about it, they go, "Oh, he's fine. Everything is okay. We're working on it." But no one goes, "Yeah, isn't that smoke radioactive?"
Yeah, the cancer clouds. It's
So
just gonna waft everywhere.
we got that going on too. So hold your loved ones close and play Skyrim. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Or Animal Crossing.
Or Animal Crossing, whatever game that you get into. Just listen. I'm gonna become a vampire in this game. It's gonna be great.
Play Animal Crossing and visit my island sometime. I've been burying fish in the ground because I just got terraforming, so I like dig out holes and just put fish in them.